back, comic addicts. And if you want to see why my mailman wants a raise, stick around. So that stack of boxes you saw includes some eBay purchases, some store purchases, and a trade with NiightTigerComics. I'll show you all those, as well as just a couple of comics I picked up at my local comic shop yesterday. I'll start with those. The first one I got is a new comic. It's called House of Slaughter. And this is a spin-off, I believe, of Something is Killing the Children. I'm not looking to get into either of those series, but I just wanted to read this first issue, and I really liked the cover on that. So that was my first grab. We had some free comics out from the Free Comic Book Day, which this Hawkeye was out there. This is a reprint of the first appearance of Kate Bishop. So I picked that up. I'm not looking to buy and spend the money on that original one, but that was cool to have. And I just went there for the House of Slaughter, and unfortunately, or fortunately for me, he had a box of books right in front of the cash register that he had just recently purchased and priced. And so I had to dig through that one. I found this beautiful Christmas Santa Claus Funnies. It's a Dell 4 color, and it's just gorgeous. This is one of the nicest Christmas covers I've seen with Santa Claus on it. So I grabbed that one. And I also dug through, and I found this Beetle Bailey. And I just like this one because of the how he's going out of marching, following the girl in the red dress. And that's also a pinup on the back cover, that same image, him going after her. What's kind of interesting is recently I was going through my CLZ app, and if you all use the CLZ app, one of the features in there is that you can go through your collection and tag things. And so you could put Swamp Thing covers or Dracula covers or something like that. So I was just looking through. I noticed I had a lot of covers with girls in red dresses. So I tagged that. When I saw that one, that was on my mind, so I grabbed it. Here's Don Winslow of the Navy, number 44. And I recently saw this Night Tiger's post, or one of his shows. He showed this one, and I thought that was really cool. So I went looking for it, and I found this one on eBay with make offer. I made a real low offer, and I couldn't believe it. It was accepted. Had a really bad spine roll. It wasn't really like a spine roll. It was more folded over. So the front cover didn't even make it to the edge of the cover. Over along here, it was folded over. So I just took it out and pressed it flat, and it looks great now. So I have that one. And while I was looking for this one, I found another cool Don Winslow of the Navy. This one is number 52. And it's got that great ghost cover, the ghost of the fishing ships. And I made a low offer on this one. The seller accepted it. He's gone out of town. He rushed to send it out to me. He's a great seller. And it arrived the other day. And when I went through it, the first page had a big hole in it. There was like part of the story missing. So I contacted him, and he refunded me the whole thing and let me keep it. So it does have some of the story missing, some of the art. The story's there. It's just the art is missing. I think it may be trimmed because it fits in a Silver Age bag, where all of my other Don Winslows don't. I think it might be trimmed, but the price was right, free. And I found this one. I was looking at some Archies lately. Another red dress, you could see. This is Veronica 202, the second print. The first print is the same cover, but she's wearing a white dress. Seems to be a little bit more expensive than this one, but I actually like this one better. And this is the first appearance of a new character in Archie called Kevin Keller. So I grabbed that one. And then from another eBay seller, there were some Archies I've been looking for. He had them, so I grabbed those. But he also had this, and I think it was like $1.77. It was basically nothing. So I threw it in with the other purchase because the shipping didn't go up. And what's cool about this one is, I've mentioned this before, but a lot of the Harris Vampirellas have these centerfolds. A lot of time it is the cover that you see. This one does have a centerfold, and it's actually you need 6 issues to piece them together to make a giant poster. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen that before in the comics. I remember when I was collecting different kind of trading cards, they would do that. You'd turn them over and you'd put like 8 or 12 of them together to make a big image. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep my eye out for the rest of them. Then the comics that I'm looking for are these 6 Archie comics. Archie number 666, which is the last issue of the first Archie run of comics. They made a bunch of variant covers, and basically each cover looked something like this, where they had one of the main covers, one of the main characters in the center, circled by other characters in the stories. And what was really interesting, they all look very similar to this. It's a black cover with fireworks. Each one had a different title. And as far as I can figure, the title represented a different title that Archie was called throughout the years. So this is the Jughead variant, which says Pep Comics on the top. This is the Top Notch Comics with Veronica. Okay, same number 666, the Top Notch Veronica issue. This is the Blue Ribbon Betty issue. And this is the Jackpot Comics, I think that's Reggie, the Reggie issue. So I am missing the Archie issue, and I can't remember which the other one is. But there were 6 of them, and they all connect together, and they make a big, long picture. I'm going to drop the picture in here. I'm going to find a picture and put it here so you can see the connecting cover that it makes. From a different seller, I found this issue of Betty, Betty 192. I just like that cover. There's a matching cover on an issue of Veronica, where it's the black and white cover like that, with Veronica wearing that same outfit. And I haven't found one for a decent price. This one didn't cost me that much, but the Veronica one is a lot more expensive. So I'm going to keep my eye out for that and find it when I locate it at a good price. This is a Dell Movie Classics called Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And this is one of the cheesiest 50s sci-fi movies ever made. It's not B, it's like D. I'm a high school teacher, and sometimes I teach astronomy. So I actually bought this movie, and around Christmas time, we watched that in the class kind of as a joke. So those are my eBay purchases. And then I did make a purchase through a seller on Instagram, and I was able to pick up 5 or 6 comics for him. As you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I like the American comic group, ACG Comics. And so I picked up, he had a couple of issues of Forbidden Worlds for like $3 or $4 a piece. I didn't have any of them. I snagged all of them. They're all complete. They're all in good shape. And what's kind of interesting about these Forbidden Worlds is if you look at the earlier issues, they're all kind of suspense, horror, sci-fi on the covers. But when they got into the 60s, when the superheroes were starting to get really big again in the Silver Age, ACG had this guy called Magic Man, which was their superhero. And basically he dominated the cover from that point on. So there he is on one of the issues. Here he is on another issue. And here's one more issue. So I was able to pick all of these up. They all have these superhero covers. He's kind of a cheesy superhero from ACG. But there's 2 or 3 stories in these comics, and the second and third ones are still the horror, suspense, sci-fi ones. So a lot of bang for the buck in those, and you can usually find them pretty cheap, especially when you get to the newer ones where Magic Man is on the cover. From the same seller, I was able to get 2 issues of Orion. I'm trying to put this run together. This is issue number 7 with a great Calabac cover. And Orion is written and most of it drawn by Walt Simonson. And, he's very famous for his Thor run. And this is kind of similar. And in addition to having the main Orion story, there's a backup story called Tales of the New Gods, just kind of how in Thor, they had the Thor story, and then they had the Tales of Asgard backup story. So here's another issue of Orion, issue number 6. So I think I have the first 6 or 7 issues. They're not easy for me to find. I look for these everywhere I go, and I hardly ever find them. So that IG seller had these on the, as well as the Forbidden World. So I grabbed those up. And this is from the same seller. This is called The Presto Kid. This is by AC Comics, late 80s, maybe 1989. This is a reprint of 4 stories from Magazine Enterprises from 49 through 57, Dick Ayers art of the Presto Kid. And there's an interesting story about the Presto Kid. The Presto Kid was created by Dick Ayers and the Magazine Enterprises as a result of the Comics Code Authority. They had that great Western called Ghost Rider, and the Comics Code Authority came out and said you can't have horror elements in comic books anymore. So they replaced Ghost Rider with this guy. They created this guy in order to try to save their sales and bring something new to the public. So what's really interesting about the Presto Kid is that he's the only Western hero to never use a gun. Presto, like magic, Presto Changeo, he used magic and tricks in order to beat the bad guys. So there's 4 stories in here, 3 complete ones, and then a partial reconstruction of the origin story. And there's 2 pages of from the editor talking about the history of Dick Ayers, his illustration history, who he worked for, what he created, his style, and then a little bit more on Presto Kid, and that's from AC or Amera Comics. If you could find that, it's a little bit of history there. It's pretty good. What else did I get? I did a trade with Mike Smith, who has a YouTube channel and an IG channel called NiightTigerComics, and make sure you sub up to him and subscribe to him on both YouTube and Instagram. He puts out some great videos and some great posts. He's got an amazing Golden Age collection. So sub him up. I did a trade with him, and the 3 books that I received are Outlaws of the West, and this is, according to Mike's research, this is the only Western cover that Steve Ditko ever did. So that's pretty good. Charlton Outlaws of the West, I think it's from 1972. So I'm really excited to have that one. I like that one. And he gave me this Vampirilla Lives with a J. Scott Campbell cover, which is pretty nice. I saw this on one of his videos, and he said, hey, I have to trade this. My wife wants me to get this out of the house. So that was pretty funny, but nice cover there. So I grabbed that one. That one doesn't have a centerfold. And then what was interesting, he went to the flea market and he got a stack of books. He laid them out and he put a picture, and you could only see the edge of the comic like this. And so I just asked him, I said, hey, does that cover have a train on it? Looks like it's got a train. I collect trains and train comics. So he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't think so. It's a romance. But he went home and he checked it out, and he's like, yeah, it does. So that was kind of funny. And he said, I'll throw that one in on the trade if you want. I did. I was just trying to get the title and number so I could put it on my search list, but he threw it in for the trade, and I'm really glad he did. I really like this cover. I love the colors on it, the train, the passenger station in the background, and I hadn't seen it before. So thank you, Mike, very much for those 3 comics. So that was eBay and IG. And then I purchased a couple of comics from some different stores. This one is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I got this from Cowabunga Comics. And what's really cool about this is that this is a reprint from a Star publication copy of the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from either 1950 or 1952. In here, it says it reprints the story from 1950, but from my research, I found that it was 1952. So I'm not sure, but it's a new cover. I'll drop the old cover in here for you to see what it looks like. It's really cool. And I like this because it's the Hulk. Obviously, it's a homage to Hulk #1. I like monster transformation covers. And other than the cover, the interior is just a reprint of that Golden Age comic. I said, oh, let me see if I could find that comic. So I searched around, and I did find one comic on the internet. It's like $250. So I'm not going to get that, but I'm really happy to have that one. And then I also purchased a few comics from Joe Naka. I've bought through him over the years. He's got a website. He does all comics, but he's got a really good stock of some Golden Age comics, and in all grades. You could find some low grade ones, some high grade ones. And when I'm looking for something I can't seem to find anywhere else, a lot of times I can find it there. So I have been looking for this one. It's called Horrific. This is a Don Heck cover from 1954. There's 4 different horror stories in it, and that is just a dope cover. That is so cool. I saw somebody post this about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been looking for it since then. So I'm really excited to have that one in the collection. Another ACG comic I have been looking for is this Blazing West cover. I think I've mentioned on the channel before that I do like these type of images where someone's back is to you and the perspective is you're looking through the legs, and you see something else going on in there. Usually, the hero's getting beaten down, or in this case, shot or something like that. So I do like that type of image. And this particular cover with the colors, it's just so awesome. I mean, I love that orange and yellow title, but the rest of it's so subdued with the grays and the dark sky. I mean, it's very somber. And I have been looking for that one for a while, and Joe had it, so I did pick that one up. 2 other comics I picked up from him I got this issue of Kilroy's, number 48. Now, this is also American Comic Group, and whenever you see these that have these black borders, it's a semi 3D. It's called True Vision. They tried this thing instead of using glasses. They basically made the borders of the comics black, and then all the panels, whatever was drawn in it, was really colorful, and it was drawn with parts of it sticking over into the black border. Like you could see just on this cover, his foot is sticking out and the green balloon is sticking out. And so that was try to make basically a 3D effect without glasses. I'm looking for these. There's only a handful of them, maybe 20. Most of them were in Adventures into the Unknown. There might be like 7 or 8, 9, 10 issues in Adventures to the Unknown. And in those issues, the entire book is those 3D stories. There's usually 3 stories, and they're all the 3D stories. In ACG's other titles, they did it for 2 or 3 issues, And the cover showed that true vision, but usually there was only one, maybe two out of the three stories had the 3D effect in it. So I'm trying to put that as a collection together. And Joe Naka had one other one. This is Romantic number 47. It's got a date stamp of April 30th, 1954, right next to her dress there. Beautiful red dress. I mentioned those earlier. And I just caught him in time. I had made a deal on the other three books, and I didn't know he had this one. And then I was searching some more, and I found this one. And I reached out to him and said, "Hey, did you ship it yet?" And he's like, "You just caught me. I was just walking out the door." So we threw this one in as well. Of the 3D True Vision comics that there's the True Vision up on the top there, of the 3D True Vision comics that ACG put out, these romance ones, there were two romance issues, Romantic and Lovelorn. Each of them, I have three issues in the run that have the black borders with the 3D. And those seem to be, for me, the toughest ones to find. I did find another one. And this is beautiful. Boy, do I love that cover. It's really cool, little trapeze thing going on. And this is Lovelorn, number 49. And I found this, of all places, on abebooks.com. They sell old books, used books. I always search up when I need a book. I always go there. I check Amazon, but Abe Books usually has more selection and they're less expensive. I found this one there. So I got this one from Abe Books. Really happy to have that one. And then lastly, this is a reprint of Chamber of Chills 19. So this is a comic I would like to have, Chamber of Chills 19. So it got this classic, famous cover, looking through the glass and seeing the skeleton of the lady again in the red dress. But boy, it's hard to find and it's super pricey. This is from a group called MB Artists, and they take these old horror comics. They've done a few Chamber of Chills and some other ones, and they get an artist to reinterpret or reimagine the cover. They make a new cover, but then inside is an exact reprint of the comic, including the original front and back cover. And so I found this one, and I thought, boy, that's a great way to have it. I can actually enjoy the story and have this with the new art. One of the things about these reprints that I really like about this particular issue, and the artist mentions this on the website, is that he didn't want to like reinterpret it. He just wanted to kind of give his own style to it. So if you compare this to the original cover, it's almost exactly the same. You can tell the difference side by side. The hair is a little bit different. The bones on the hand are kind of more greenish here. The cigarette has a little bit of a, red tip to it. So it's a little bit different. All right, that was the doorbell. And I had two more packages dropped off. I'll open those and add those to the end of the video. I was explaining that the artist who did this, he didn't make a whole bunch of changes. And I really like that because it really gives you the same image that you would expect if you bought a copy of Chamber of Chills. I looked and considered getting some of the other issues that they had on the website, but they were totally different images. They were totally reimagined. And I didn't really like that, but this one gave me what I was looking for. So I picked up a copy of that, and I'm really glad to have that. So let me open those other boxes up and we'll see what I got there. Okay, so here's one that I just opened. This is Sparky Watts number 10. This is the last issue of Sparky Watts. And this thing took a long time to get to me. Unfortunately, it was sent media mail. And whenever things come media mail to where I live in Hawaii, it can take like 6 weeks to 2 months. And it's really weird because sometimes when people send it media mail, if they catch the boat at the right time, they'll get here in 3 days or something like that. So here's Sparky Watts and number 10, the final issue. And it's just got a great cover, great colors, that one guy with the giant shoes, and this great mummy sarcophagus Egypt cover. I was hoping to show this as one of my mummy covers during Night Tiger's live Halloween show. It was supposed to arrive before, but with all those shipping delays, it took too long. And the last one is from Ultimate Comics, and they're doing the Marvel, what is it, the 35th anniversary border comics. They're making some new ones. There's Beta Ray Bill, Doctor Doom, Moon Knight, Black Cat. It's like a sketch cover, Tigra, and they're doing these. One of those in particular I really liked, and that was the Black Cat comic. So I did pick that one up. That's a cover buy. I thought that was really an attractive cover. So I got that. That's all my comics. I wanted to share one other thing with you. It's kind of comic related. If any of you who've been following my Instagram know that recently I was on the mainland for 10 days and visiting family, and also hitting up antique stores and comic book shops. So in one of the antique stores, I saw this book. It was The Son of the Phantom. It was sitting there. I think it was $4 or $5, something like that. It wasn't that much. I said, oh, I wonder if that's the Phantom, Lee Falk's Phantom, who I really like, one of my favorite superheroes. And so I opened the book and I saw this artwork, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That does kind of look like the Phantom. So I paged through a little bit more, and sure enough, this is a story about a new generation of the Phantom. And so it's a written story, but as you page through, there are different pictures throughout, and it tells about a more modern Phantom than the older one. And so I grabbed this. Part of it is loose. I'm going to try to repair that, search it up on YouTube, see if there's a way that I could repair that spine. It's only a couple of bucks. And then what I found out was that it's supposed to have a dust jacket, and the dust jacket is really beautiful. It's got some great artwork on it. And if you find one of these books with the dust jacket, it's like $200. I did find on Amazon, if you find one of these books without the dust jacket, there's a guy on Amazon who's selling a facsimile reprint of it. And when it comes, it's even got the Mylar on it, like you would get, brand new. I thought it was just going to be the paper itself, but it comes all ready to go. It's got the interior part of the book here and here. And then what's nice about it is down here in the bottom, it says it's a facsimile. So there's not going to be any mistaking it, but it will allow me to have this book displayed very, very nicely. So that's it, comic addicts. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. I've got more to do. I just got a big box from Lone Star Comics. I'll do another video on that. Be too long for this. But if you like my channel, please like and subscribe and share it. And I'll see you next time with some more good stuff. Bye-bye.